Anything is possible. It started with a dream.
Hello. As I prepare for my first online class, I'm just going to record a quick little video for you showing how I mount my stamps and my dies. So I'm going to take you down onto the table now. So here are the dies for the Everything is Rosy Thinlet dies. They come in a pouch like this, but I take mine out and I do like to mount them onto a piece of magnet because they will be so much easier for you to use. So I will just pick up, if I show you with the first one, and then I'm going to fast forward through the rest so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to take these off. The tape on here is very, very strong. It's really tacky, so it can be difficult to get off those. So I place that on a piece of the magnet. Okay, so that's on there like so. And I'm going to repeat the same with all of these other dies, placing them in the same positions. Now for this particular set, I've actually taken a piece of magnet slightly smaller. The reason being there's not so many stamps on that packet, so I'm just going to carry on through with those.
You can see it's so much more than stamps and ink. It's more than just a card you see. It's part of you, a part of me. It's creativity.
And there we have all the dies complete. So they've just been transferred off that piece of card. I won't keep that card. If you want to have your magnet, depending on the thickness of your magnet, if you want it a little bit stronger, you could mount that on a piece of board. Okay, so I shall put those to one side for a sec. So if I now bring over the stamp set, okay, the stamp set also needs to be mounted. Now, this piece here is sandwiched between two pieces of plastic. Now, the first thing I do is by taking that off there, so we can get to the stamps. Now, these stamps, I'm going to roughly place those in the order that they would be on the actual piece at the backing of the card, the case here. So if I put those roughly where they are, we'll be able to manipulate those a little bit later. Some of these are very tiny. I think the tiny ones I'm going to just put over the side here for the time being, so that I don't have so many to move. The bigger ones I'll continue just mounting them on here. I hope you can see that. Sorry, my hands might be in the way. So I'm going to put them exactly as they're positioned on the piece of plastic that I'm peeling them off. So they're all on a piece of, on roughly where they're going to be. Now this piece of card here, this piece of plastic, this has actually got all the greetings, all the sentiments will be on there and exactly how they will be positioned. So what I'm going to do now is to grab my glue dots, my Stampin' Up! Glue dots, and I go to the end here and I want to uncover 4 of those and I will tear that off. Okay, so with this piece of plastic, I want to turn it over and put one of those glue dots in each corner. Okay, so when I've got one of those in each corner, I think I missed one. That one didn't stick properly. Okay, I'll put those out of the way. Now this is the tricky thing. You're going to literally open up the case. You've got your plastic sheet that protects the case there, and you're going to lay this in the centre of that case. Like so. You can't actually see that very well. So what I'm going to do for you is just pause that video there. So here I've placed this onto the open stamp case onto a sheet of white cardstock, just so that you can see where I'm going with this. Now, each of these stamps is slightly, you can see where the stamps are now. Can you see the stamp underneath there? I'm just going to manipulate that a little bit to put those stamps exactly where they should be. Obviously I was guessing before, but they were roughly in the right places. So I just bring those exactly onto where their corresponding stamps are. Now all of those stamps are in there in the case ready. When you want to use one of those stamps, you simply lift it off, use it, and then put it on your block and use it, clean it, and then you're going to put it straight back in exactly the same place. Now while we're here, what I wanted to show you was the dies that correspond with this. So the shapes that we've got here will correspond with what we have in the pack. There's the big leaf here. The border obviously is an extra one. So they mix and match together. Now I'm going to recommend that you put something in here. You could, if you wanted to, run some red tape on here and actually stick that inside your case. The only danger with that is I wouldn't want stamps to become loose and go on this cutting edge in here. So that's one way of doing it if you wanted to stick those in. The other way is to keep them in their protective sleeve that Stampin' Up has issued us with. They actually have been made so that they fit inside the folder now. So I think these ones still fit inside. So if you have those in there together like so, then when you go to use that set of stamps, you literally open them up. This is actually the other side. These are quite sticky because they're brand new, and then you can just open this up and you will see the corresponding ones. So I would never leave your die cuts directly facing the stamp set. So I'm just going to take you back one step and just show you the other way that I would fix these into the case if I wanted to protect those stamps. So if we take these dies out for now, remove the stamps, I'm going to take these out of the case and I'm going to apply some tape. This is our Stampin' Up tear and tape. So I'm going to apply some tape. A couple of strips along here should be enough. Maybe 3 because it's quite a heavy weight magnet. So I'm going to tear that tape off there. Remove the backing off here. Bring those back. I'll bring the case back in. So I'm going to place those down firmly, just in the centre, roughly in the centre of that case. Press those down. Now, what I said about protecting those stamps, I sometimes put a piece of card in. So this is just a normal piece of card, and I'm going to lay that in there. And the reason it's there is to protect your stamps. Do not let the dies rest against the stamps. So if you were to shut that now, and say one of those fell off, that cutting edge would cut into that photopolymer. So if you just leave a whole piece of card in there, nothing can get around the edges, and shut that like so. This is a stamp set I'm going to be using a lot for the online class. So when I've got it open on my desk, I know that this isn't going to move around. Everything's safely in its place, and it's not going to move about. Okay, so I hope you found that useful. So we'll store that back in there and shut that case up so we're ready to use. Okay.